Dude, that sounds like straight up fucking heart attack.
That's
Yeah,
a lot of bacon.
Amazing.
So much bacon.
When you get a BLT sandwich, you get given a plate of bacon and there's some sandwich inside of it somewhere.
Whoa.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's amazing. The place owns a pig farm, so that's how they're
Yeah.
able to afford
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
literally, when you get the breakfast,
Oh my
it's
God.
breakfast for the rest of the day because it's eggs and
Yeah.
hash browns on a steak plate cut in half,
Yeah.
and then a separate plate with a pound of bacon with it.
What about the
That's amazing.
pancakes and the waffles?
Same thing. It's massive portions,
Yeah.
and it's for like $8.
Oh my
So
God.
it's definitely amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Amelia has
So-
found her next
yeah,
place to
so-
move
So
to.
come on up to Michigan.
Yeah.
I'll take us all. I'll drive us all up to Tony's. Then we can
Oh,
all go
God.
to Frankenmuth afterwards because it's right next to Frankenmuth.
Yeah. Tim, I fixed my digestive issues. I was just hungry. I was feeling like crap because I was just very hungry. Yeah, I ate like half of my peanut butter. And then I felt really good. And then I started really hungry again. And then I sometimes think, do I have a tapeworm eating everything?
I can't hear you, babe.
So,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah, so I would say what's going on is your inner fat person is coming up.
For sure.
And what you got to do is you got to learn how to either suppress and or feed your inner fat person
Yeah, I can suppress.
at the right time.
Yeah,
Can't
it's pretty
suppress it.
hard.
Welcome to my life.
I think
Yeah.
the word you're looking for is American.
Yeah. Welcome to becoming an American.
That's so true.
Yeah, I have some delicious soup right now with 3 eggs. It's really good.
3 eggs.
3 eggs.
God damn.
It's a lot of eggs.
Yeah.
You say that's a lot of eggs. When we make like scrambled eggs, we both end up we make like fucking 6 eggs.
That's after
Whoa.
half a jar of peanut butter.
Oh
So
well,
good.
yeah.
That's the difference.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Amelia's inner fat person is awoken.
Yeah, so this, yesterday I was really tempted to get this like 40 chicken McNuggets and 2 large fries and a high C orange. It's like, oh man, that sounds really tempting. But I won't do it. Because like
Because that's
because
a step too far.
because the DoorDash is just too expensive. But it wasn't
yeah.
that expensive, but I would totally do it.
There you guys
The
go.
coffee
That's
barrier
the pictures
prevented
of
you.
the Tony's place.
Yeah, this place
Oh,
sounds
wow.
amazing.
What the fuck? Okay, so I'm
Wait.
not a huge bacon fan.
Whoa.
I know. But
Yeah,
that's
so many.
ridiculous. I love
That's a
BLTs
lot.
though.
Yeah. Oh, what? Oh,
That's like a
What the fuck?
BLT.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a massive bacon fan either.
Ari loves it.
Yeah.
When you
Can't
get
care
the
anymore.
right bacon, it's amazing. If you get the stuff that's over salted,
Oh no. That's horrible.
no.
Yeah, I don't.
What
I'm
a
just-
spot to start stream. We
I
don't
know.
like bacon.
Bacon? The DM doesn't like bacon?
How dare her.
Everybody disappears. I mean, you know.
The
Yeah.
next morning, you have 0 followers.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I know it's weird. I'm just.
Yeah.
Ari loves it. She asks for it every so often. But I love breakfast sausage.
Oh, me
Breakfast
too, me too.
sausage. I prefer breakfast sausage over bacon.
Me too.
How are you on sandwiches? Like deli meat sandwich?
It's okay.
It honestly, it 100% depends on the bread. It's not what's in the bread, it's the fucking bread. Because they
I
can
got
have the
another
best
one
deli
for you
meat, and if the bread is nasty or subpar, then it's just a waste of freaking eating. But there was this really, really good deli that we used to go to a couple of times in Houston, kind of like off the beaten path. And they still to this day I think have the best deli sandwiches. Oh, that looks good.
Whoa, yeah, it's good.
$5.
Holy shit.
Yeah. This is a place in Ferndale called Ernie's Market, and they,
We need to go there just to.
yeah,
Yeah, we don't have any restaurants here.
We do, but they're all. I mean, they're all the exact same food. Hamburgers, pizza.
Merc,
Yeah,
American food.
no specialty places. All right, drink some water. We'll make it get started.
Yeah. Favorite thing about going to every town and see what food they have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, whenever we go somewhere, I say we're not going to a chain place. Let's find something local. I don't care the price. Like, we're here on vacation. We're finding something unique to this area.
Yes.
Well, and that's generally what we do too when we travel to the different towns around here. But there's only so many burger places that you can hit before you're just like, that's another burger.
Yes, burgers.
I love burgers, but at the same time,
Me
it's
too.
like,
Me too.
There's a restaurant you should visit near me. It's called Black Bear.
Black Bear?
Yeah. Or
If
Big
it's
Bear.
out that way, we'll have to go by.
Yep.
Costco's out that way.
Is
We'll
it
have to swing
Black
by.
Bear?
Oh, hot dogs.
Black Bear Diner?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
You know what? I remember seeing that on the highway being advertised when I was over there in May. I was like,
Yeah,
what is
they
Black
have
Bear?
like some massive servings.
Oh, so that's good.
Just don't get mixed up with Dancing Bear.
Oh, the pancakes, the sausages and the oranges and the syrup right there.
Oh, it's a national chain too. Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Never even heard of them.
Oh,
Shitload
there's-
of them in California.
Yeah, there's several in Seattle. I didn't know that. There's one in Federal Way, in Piata.
Oh, there's,
And they-
there's a couple in Arizona too.
Yeah, I've never heard of Black Bear. Whoa.
Oh, by the way, merbabies are adorable.
What?
When we went to the Renaissance Festival, the first time when we went over to see the mermaids, it was a merman, and my kids were absolutely like bummed. They did not want to see a merman. They were not affiliated with mermen. Later on the day, we went back and they were advertising, yes, we've got a live mermaid, and also her merbaby. And we're like, And they did. And it
How
is
weird.
adorable.
And this
Oh my
sounds
gosh, it was
strangely
amazing.
creepy.
It does sound strangely creepy.
Well, I mean, but then again, when you see it, like my kids, their eyes lit up. Seeing an actual
bet.
mermaid, they're like, oh
Yeah.
man, night and day difference.
Yeah.
So cool.
Otherwise, they were just confused with the merman. They're like, what?
Oh, literally, we
Sometimes-
walked away. Trinity was like, I don't want to see a merman. I want a mermaid. It's like, I don't blame you. I was disappointed too.
Poor babies.
That's funny.
If Discord lets me, I'll send you the picture link.
Anybody have anything else food
I am-
related before we move on?
Yeah, I am ready for some DnD food stalls.
I have a box of Cheez-Its.
Oh my god, I got a toasted version of those toast Cheez-Its. They're
Yep.
so good.
Oh, the extra crispy ones are.
Yes, they're amazing. Yeah,
See, there you go. You've begun your fat person journey.
I tried the whole wheat breads. I was so disappointed. I was like, what is this?
So gross.
If you want to
Yeah.
hate life, go gluten free, like me.
Oh my gosh. I don't try.
Dude, I did for about a month. It was fucking terrible. I hated it. Like every bit of bread you bought was awful.
Whoa.
Like there's only so much fucking rice you can eat. Like everything I ate in the morning was like fucking oatmeal. It was all rice based. It was fucking whack, man. 0 out of 10 would recommend, unless you're like have a real issue with it.
There's the merbaby.
Aw, baby.
Yeah.
Told ya.
Wait, I don't get it. Where are they?
It's
Right.
in the
Right.
daddy's arms on the right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a baby with a mermaid uniform.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Outfit, not a fucking
What do you
uniform.
think it was?
I don't know. I was thinking like some sort of animatronic thing, maybe.
Oh, like a
Oh
doll.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that
like
probably
some
would've
sort
made
of
some
like
people
little.
mad.
I don't know. That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last
Last
week.
picture.
Last week began the ascent up the mesa that holds the Temple of the First Ones. But we didn't quite make it because every single plant and creature along the way had decided they wanted to get to know you in a few ways. You were attacked, kind of, by some dragonflies, some little bugs, and what y'all later found out were kissing beetles, as well as saw some very strange things happening with the plants and the flowers. You ran into the stick bug that was actually had a name. I didn't get around to saying the name, but it is called Lorraine's Tear is the name of the creature. And at the very end of the session, you were attacked by two strange flying creatures that may once have been giant eagles. After defeating them, a spirit of kinds emerged from the one that EOA was grappling. And we ended as EOA was questioning the creature about what it was, what happened, and where it was trying to go. So, very quick synopsis. Of course, that doesn't include the strange thing that happened with Jax and the green crystal wall and all of the numerous little things that were kind of dotted within. So we begin as the three come out from behind a field of force that Bruvar had created to keep them safe. And EOA is grappling a spirit.
My foot. Can I like try to do my best to draw the hold rune?
Make a sleight of foot check or a performance check. Oh, I don't have my check.
I have advantage on sleight of hand, aka sleight of foot.
Sure. Let's see what this does.
That's a 8.
That's an 8. Your foot
I
is
rolled-
not
I
very
rolled a 4
dexterous.
and a 3.
Perfect. Unfortunately, as this creature is still struggling within your arms, trying to make its way to the green crystal wall, you are not quite able to even make out enough to pause your foot in motion.
What should we do?
This thing's just trying to go back into this crystal, right?
Yeah.
Does it still, like, is it fighting in his grasp or anything? Or is it...
As much as it can, it doesn't actually seem very strong at all. It did seem quite powerful when it attacked, but it does not seem very strong. So it is pretty much stuck at this very moment. And it doesn't seem to want to hurt EOA, which it can do.
Okay, I will do a spell at it. We are. That's right.
You get it.
Alright, so I have to do I will have to do a save.
Is this
Of
like a friendship spell?
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't trust it. So I don't trust it at all. It won't be too bad, okay? Okay, I was trying to get distracted. Okay, so I have to do a save of intelligence. 13.
What are you casting?
I am casting something. I'm casting something of the mind.
I would
To,
say
like-
anybody can use their reaction if they see Soli casting.
But yeah.
I'm looking at something.
As long as you're not doing something that might hurt it.
Oh, it won't hurt it. I hope. I don't think it will.
Alright, my dice. 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, it rolled a 13 on the die plus some. So
Oh, yeah,
pass.
it passes. Yeah, it passes. Let's see.
So
Blah blah
as
blah.
as this spell washes over this creature,
Yeah.
EOA the thing suddenly expands.
What?
I'm still huge for a few more seconds.
Does a 22 hit Soli?
Oh, yeah.
This creature suddenly expands to
Oh
fill
my
a
gosh.
massive space, and it is touching nearly everyone at this very moment. And as you feel its presence press up against you, Soli, you
Yeah.
feel a jolt of sudden electricity. It seems
Whoa.
to have been able to direct it throughout its entire being directly to you. You take 9 damage.
Whoa.
The spicy meatball.
It's very spicy.
Allow me to return.
Who are you?
I'll translate.
I am not a who. I am a part. You must allow me to return.
What happens with Evanvon when you return?
It becomes more whole once again.
What happens when it becomes whole?
What would to be happen if your tail was cut off?
It might grow back.
And then would you be whole?
If it grew back, yes.
It's the same when we are taken. That was a better word and I lost it.
I'll translate. Should we release it?
I don't know. I don't trust. I mean,
I think it's just being used by these creatures as power or as part of some other reasoning. I don't think it is necessarily behind the creature's actions.
I mean, why was it separated to begin with? If it wants to be back whole, why is it separated?
It said it was.
Didn't we find out too that this was
A fractal.
yeah, hadn't we discussed the them being taken and like used by somebody to become more powerful? Was that something we discussed the other, or was that just something I was thinking?
Yes, can you ask how it was to be taken, and or maybe who took it and turned it into creature?
Yeah, I'll ask that. And who took you?
We are being drawn outward from within. We infuse different living things, plants, and mushrooms. Those kinds of... Well, you don't consider them creatures. We don't know why. And then we are consumed. And then those that do the consuming are consumed.
So if I was to eat you, you would become me, and die? I'm not gonna eat it.
I would become part of your power. Corrupt.
Would you die?
Unbalanced. No, I cannot.
Just assume I'm translating everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
I'm gonna go
okay.
put Digi up. I'm listening. Be right back.
You want to try to eat it?
I do not want to try to eat
Okay,
it.
okay. I don't.
That'd be kind of
You
freaky.
know,
It's not-
Amelia, not everything has to be eaten.
Does not seem like it's malicious. It is part of some process that is being taken advantage of.
Yeah, so he has gotta find.
It seems like an innocent being.
But what kind of being wants to go to a place where it becomes non-existent upon arriving there?
Maybe it's part of its pilgrimage to the end. It's just, it's the
I
theory.
think it already was taken from where it wants to be. Yes.
It wants to be whole.
So he's gotta find its missing pieces. Wherever it may.
I think it used crystal or go through crystal somehow to get where it wants to go. You saw how the thing light up before.
Do the three see us talking to this thing?
They are discussing many things right now, and they do occasionally glance over. They don't know what to think right now. They thought that Mita's tales were very much exaggerated, and they're kind of concerned at the
Yeah.
moment. More so now.
You know, if we're finding a fractal here, that means that this area is dangerous. Looks like they, from what I remember, they only appear when it's like a condensed area, a condensed element of the arcane, the aura.
I know how to make this easier.
I'm gonna look over at the three.
Hey, is it good for this thing to return to the crystal?
Ahem. Munderick. Well, if it's a part of Avenvon, then yes, it would be a good thing.
All right, let it in. They said so. It's not on our decks.
Alright.
A fractal is a part of something. That means that something has fractured. If that is Avenvon, then there are more problems than anything that we are dealing with here in the Hollow.
Ask before you let go. Ask if it can offer advice so that we may assist others like it in being freed in return.
Translated.
Release them. To be part of what they once were.
Do we do this by killing the vessels that they reside in?
Yes.
Is one of you, whatever you are, in all things or just certain things?
We once belonged to all. Something is drawing us out.
Is there like a telltale that lets us know which one of you's in what? Otherwise, we're just gonna go around killing everything, and I don't think that's a good way to go.
The color of this creature deepens to a dark, dark forest green and begins like shrinking and expanding just ever so slightly. And her voice is filled with like fear, but also anger. They are corrupted. Horribly corrupted.
Can you tell us what is causing this corruption? How can we solve this?
I not know.
Can I insight check
There's-
that?
Yeah.
7.
A 7. From what you can tell, its experiences are pretty much all it knows. And then whatever it was connected to. Being able to answer greater questions, specifically ones that deal with non-absolutes, would be very difficult. So far, what she has said is that this is what she is, this is what she was a part of, this is what she knows has happened. And it's very, very absolute. There's no maybe, might. This is happening and they don't know why.
So she's a part of everything. Or-
That's what she's saying.
Okay.
Welcome in, by the way.
In that case, assuming the translation is correct, it's not lost in translation.
Right.
Okay, so you are like a part of everything. Do you know what happened to the kings, to the Wolfkin?
I do not know the Keenson.
Do you know the Vareki?
I don't understand the specific names.
You speak their tongue.
I speak the language of Avonfawn, of the land.
Kings are part of the land. They are part of Amon. How do you not know?
Well, beings are beings. You have lesser beings, you have greater beings. You are greater beings.
I do feel great.
She doesn't seem to understand the differences between the greater beings.
Yeah.
She may not see you as people at all. She may just see like your aura or your spirit. You don't know. It's like she literally does not understand the separation that you're trying to make.
Any final questions before I release this being into the wall?
Yes.
We're getting nowhere, I think.
Yes, we are. This.
I say we let go, but let her know that we are pilgrims. We are here to assist, bringing Avon back to home.
Ask
Yeah,
her
like-
what happened at this place a long time ago.
Do you know this place?
She's not going to answer.
Well, that's all the questions I had.
This being does not like location-based questions.
It does not. So.
Does it do like make a face or do anything weird?
Yeah. What?
I just imagine it as an orb.
It just like it was constantly undulating and it just
Yeah.
stopped.
Interesting.
Ask if it's drawn to this place or something.
Yeah.
It is the anchor of the land.
Interesting. So, I do have one question. What do you see? Like, what do you see? Do you see like? Do you see our faces, our body, or do you see like energy or like?
Light. Colors.
Light.
Ooh, what color am I?
No answer.
No answer.
Damn it.
The questions that y'all are asking, y'all get the idea that
Yeah.
if this thing speaks, it is the truth. If it doesn't, it's not going to lie to you. It just is going to refuse to talk.
But what I'm trying to intuit is if it's not talking because it doesn't understand the question or doesn't understand how it would answer, or if it's maliciously keeping information.
I would say roll insight. It's not a high DC, as y'all have had quite a bit of interaction. Yeah, as long y'all have had quite a bit of interaction now. Oh,
7
guys,
total.
Oh my goodness.
I need y'all to get rid of all of. You got a nat 20. Very
No,
nice.
19.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's get all of the low rolls out of the way now, because we're gonna need the good ones later.
Yeah.
I just want to know if it's keeping information from us on purpose or not. That's all I'm trying to tell. Like if I should prod harder or if it's literally never going to be able to answer.
You get the idea that the being literally like it those are so good. It stops
so-
being in its tracks, as
Yeah.
if it's almost like a shut like an off switch for this thing. Certain questions are like an off switch, and it just like goes into like a hibernation, no movement, no waves within the spirit, nothing. So it's like as it cannot answer, and that's for both as y'all were working together.
Yeah.
I understand by hugging it.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think we should let this little thing go home.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think let's go and let us continue.
Let us continue.
If you need help again, try to contact us somehow.
You feel this relief of fear, gratitude.
And
Hey, I got a crazy idea. Maybe if we all held out our hands, it could like briefly like touch us as it headed into the fractal thing, so that way it knows our essence and it could like let the other ones know after it connects with everything, like, hey, this essence is good, trust these ones.
So as you continue, like just explaining that, the being swells once again, but this time the cloud envelops everyone, including Mita and the three. And you hear Mita, and you feel it almost like scan you in a way to get the idea of your essence, and then it will shrink back as EOA releases and go into the wall.
send a good word to the rest of your friends.
I will if I am able.
Well, that happened.
Does anything happen to the crystal when it goes through? Or would it...
All of the small cracks and fractures within the crystal flare with beautiful colors of greens. And for the next 15 or so minutes, you get the same feeling all around this mesa of the druid sanctuary in the Chris ruins. Just that feeling of peace and comfort and welcome.
We have restored the area.
For a brief moment.
This one crystal on this one hill.
Mhm.
Are the bodies of the monsters still here?
Well, one of them had fallen all the way down to the bottom, and then the other one kind of split away, and I would assume it would have tumbled down.
I believe you said the one that I was hugging just disintegrated within my arms.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I said that. That was a thing. Sorry.
Is it too far down to like go examine
If
the
you were
body?
looking for pieces of it, I would say there you would be able to find pieces.
I don't know
What's
what
going
I
on
did.
with Tim?
He doesn't know. He has the most
He's
confused
being
look on his
absorbed
face.
by the fractal.
Tim is now a spirit.
He became the fractal.
He's as confused as we all are.
Time to
It
reroll.
looks
the
like
character.
something from Phasmophobia.
It does.
We just turn around and Nino has been consumed by the green wall.
Yeah. By the darkness. Whoa.
Seriously, what the fuck did I do?
You gotta get
Okay.
real close and be like, "Save me!"
Yeah.
That's the light that she saw.
Yep. Okay, Dorus, what did you want to do with the pieces of the creature that are left?
Well, if I could still, you said it was like an eagle body with bat wings, right? Like a
Yeah.
bird body. Does it have feathers? I would
Very
like to steal a
twisted.
feather.
Yeah, you can steal a feather for sure.
Alright, put a feather in my.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that you notice as you take this feather, and Nemo would probably point it out. Such a dumbass. Nemo would probably point it out, being that he's usually like hanging out on your shoulder.
Yep.
Is that there's something very wrong with this feather. Whereas most feathers, the small pieces like kind of interlock for water to beat off and for like air to flow underneath them. But this one, there's something wrong with the form of the feather. As if this creature had tried to fly for very long, the feathers themselves would have become weighed down with the moisture in the air and the just dust that naturally occurs.
Why does Tim just slowly becoming an old film?
Whoa. That's crazy.
I'm gonna have to punch it in the nuts. Give me a second.
Have you unplugged it and plugged it back in?
Yeah, have you turn it up and turn it back on?
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
both of those things.
Yeah, oh my gosh, those late chips look so good. I'm sorry. They just look really appetizing.
These are not actually my favorite kettle chips.
I like any kettle chips except the actual kettle brand because they're like glass and they hurt my tongue and it's really bad.
Zaps
So
is
I don't
really
eat those.
good.
Yeah. So
Like-
we.
Sorry,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
As I grab this stuff and I'm like examining this body, I want to ask the locals too if they know, have they seen this creature down in the cities before? Do they know what it is, or does it have a name, or they experience anything like this major?
I think actually Mita would come up and talk, as the outlying areas deal with these kinds of creatures much more so than the inner towns, as that's their new job. She kind of looks back at the three as they're just sitting there and staring at you all at this point. Yeah, we've come across a few of the flying type creatures. And before we had seen some of the giant eagle ones that had been twisted, but not exactly the same way. But of course we rarely come across the same creature more than one time. It's like they get twisted or mutate in different ways.
So we're still in that cliff, right? Where we
Yeah.
last fought. Okay, so how far are we from, asking to Mira, how far are we from the entrance to the actual temple? Like,
We're close to the top now.
okay, that's good.
Well, at least now we know that these mutated creatures have essences of,
Yes.
like, the world in them, and that's what kind of has them all freaky.
Yeah.
So, it seems to me there's a leak coming from somewhere, and it's infecting things. Probably doesn't even know it's doing it. Or someone's forcing it to do it.
Yeah.
We should have asked where it got kidnapped.
Yeah, except it always dodged the question when we asked for locations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to ask it like how it got converted or who did it, and it kind of shrugged off that question too.
Yeah,
But hey, at least now we have a lead.
that is true. Hopefully we'll find some more answers once we're in the temple.
Unfortunately, fractals only know what they've experienced.
That's true.
They don't see things. So the three will begin. The three are going to ask you a few questions on your way up.
Okay.
I would say Munderick being the more studious of the three.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it wasn't just exaggeration from the stories that Mita had told us. Not that we would ever doubt her word, but she is excitable. He kind of looks over at Mita.
But honest.
Yes.
What I can tell, this is the first time that you have dealt with one of these spirits of kinds. But you seem to have quite a bit of knowledge of them. What exactly are they?
Well, first off, I want to apologize for the informal nature of addressing you guys. Meant for it to be a lot more respectful. But we didn't want to screw things up and thought it'd be best to just ask you guys outright since this was closest to where you guys are. Second, I personally have no idea what the hell these things are.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not the studious type.
Are you talking about the spirit or the dead
Yeah,
animal?
the fractal.
The factors.
Yeah.
Would Yahweh know anything about these?
His camera just fucked. I like completely got fucked.
Yeah. So
It's not repairing itself. It's restarting. Their Pokemon. You would have as much knowledge as you think you would have from the Avonvon history doc, which is kind of what Nimu was saying earlier of these creatures, which is really just a basic understanding of the power that these creatures can have, and that they are highly sought after in some circles. Like from what Nimu said, you could have used that creature. Somebody could have used that creature to empower themselves and become more.
Just the random banana.
So yeah. Yeah.
I
Well.
have dealt with spirits before, but they don't. This one was a different type.
Yeah.
Did it remind me of anything spirits that I touched before in the Shallows area? Or in that other like great
It
place?
did not. However, I need you to roll a history for me. 9.
9.
Before you left, you had heard rumors of new breakthroughs in science for arcane advancements. But the only reason this is triggered in your memory is that Nimu had mentioned that these creatures, or the fractals themselves, are even being hunted for the ability that they can give people. Whether or not the council itself was actually doing that, you don't know. But it's one of those maybe.
So like other adventuring parties might be out looking for them, or other, governmental or shady entities might be out looking for them to try and take them.
Any and all. Power is power.
Power.
The power.
Yeah.
So maybe, crazy, maybe the corruption is not actually some evil entity. It's actually a person or a group of people on this plane causing all this.
That is a possibility. So this will be as y'all are walking, right?
Yeah, we'll continue up the mountain, I think, right?
Yeah. You don't have much further to go before you reach the top. I would like to say that the way that the creatures and the plants have behaved on our way up is not something that we have seen before. They are always fairly curious, but have never been dangerous in any way, shape, or form. I don't know why they are behaving that way with you. Maybe there is a reason that our ancestors put out a schedule, a certain time of year for pilgrimages. But I don't even know how I would go about apologizing to you about the behavior of the mesa of the Temple of the First Ones. But it's not something that I've ever experienced before in my many years of leading the pilgrimages up this way, nor taking our deceased up there to pass through. Working.
Yeah, apparently all of the like exposure, brightness, everything got turned all the way down in the fucking Windows camera settings. It's like everything just went straight far to the left.
You have a lot of background noise.
Yeah, it's picking up the AC again.
I'm doing laundry in the background, right below, so you can see it right back there. No, I don't have.
Your noise suppression got turned off.
Well, that's because this is supposed to be working. Oh, you know what? I know what it is.
Since this guy seems...
Is that better?
Yeah.
This guy seems to know a lot about the previous pilgrimages. I just want to ask him if he knows, like, what was the last one since people started getting afflicted, and like what happened to the last one.
So the last one was the one that they had. Quite a few of them had been complaining, or one specifically, I believe. Bruvar was talking with one of the leaders of the outlying cities that they did not trust the tabaxi that was within the party of the pilgrimage. Now, nothing strange had happened. It was just that they didn't trust them. They seemed almost fanatical in a religious type way, and the people of Avonvon are generally not religious at all. So to have anybody in any way be almost like...
Are there any known cults? Can I ask them?
They would not know of any known cults.
Or any like ancient cultists or ancient groups that maybe existed at one point? You know, I think Nemu's thinking like a resurrected ideology of some sort.
Yeah, Mundrak would tell you that he has obviously heard stories from pilgrims about cults, but they don't have anything specific for this area in their histories.
I'd still like to know about them.
Yeah, did he finish this? What happened with the last pilgrimage? Did they finish and leave, or did they all die, or
No, they
what happens at the end of a pilgrimage?
There's generally a celebration for them completing the pilgrimage. There's a feast. They get a tour of the 3 cities, and then they are sent on their way. However, the tabaxi did not stay for the celebration nor the tour. Tabaxi chose to leave on their own and make their way out of the hollow, which is generally considered fairly dangerous. And
Why they no stay?
Did this civil carry an item with her?
nothing more than most that travel would. They all had packs with, camping needs and all of the necessaries to keep you alive. I'm sure everybody here keeps those same kinds of things in their packs.
Yeah. Did anything happen after they left? Anything unusual? Or...
Not immediate. However,
Okay.
all of these strange things, the afflicted started to show their symptoms a few months, I believe, after they left. So that's kind of hard to tie to an event that would have happened quite a bit before that. But these creatures started being drawn to this area after that pilgrimage.
What about the exposed fractals? Was that always here on the side of this mountain, or did that show up shortly after?
That crystal
mean-
showed up a few months ago.
You mean the parts of the buildings that were here once?
No, I mean like that green spot that the flying thing just went into.
Oh, we believe that was part of one of the perhaps rooms or something within the temple, the greater temple itself that we don't have access to long ago in the time of the first ones. And no, that your friend EOA is correct. It was not visible up until recently, but quite a few of the places that you see that kind of dot along the wall of the cliff here become visible, and then sometimes are covered back by mudslides and that kind of thing. So kind of exciting when new portions are shown to us.
How often are pilgrimages? How often does it happen?
Once a year.
Once a year.
After those people, the ones you didn't trust, came and went, you said that's when all the issues started, right? Shortly after that?
Yes.
Has anybody gone to the temple since then?
Many times. Unfortunately, we have had many of our peoples pass since then, and we have brought them up to the temple.
And nothing weird has been seen or felt.
No. Plus,
That doesn't make any sense.
These creatures seemingly defending the temple now. This is new, yes?
the creatures are new, yes.
Last couple of years, it looks like.
They, we had heard rumors that there had been strange, twisted creatures outside of the Hollow. We had never, really had much experience with them. But they seem to be drawn to this area now.
It's clear that there's power here, something inside this temple.
Well, there's always been power here. That is why the Hollow is so special.
Perhaps affliction is affecting power here as well.
Perhaps. That is why we are bringing you up here. As you have the ability to, from what we understand, see the way that the power is woven, which we do not have that ability.
Just keep walking. Fake it till you make it.
Yo.
I'm interested in getting into the temple at this point.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
I'm so ready.
I'm just making sure that there's no questions, because, once you get that kind of cool stuff started,
There's a lot of fucking questions, none of which we get any answers.
I'm sorry.
Not your fault.
They don't
I
know
feel
everything.
like I have a better feeling for what fractals are and how they operate a little bit now after that whole thing.
I think we just need to get into the temple and see everything for ourselves.
Yes.
Wow, y'all say into the temple. That's interesting. Okay,
Gotta
so
go.
What do you mean interesting? What have we been doing this whole time?
Deal.
going to the temple. I never said anything
What
about
do we
I don't think they
inside.
go inside. They just like take their dead up there and offer them to the
I
gods.
never said you got to go inside. What the fuck are you talking about?
What were we supposed to do? Just sit outside and say hi and
Yeah.
bow and pray?
That's what the people do. They just they come up here to pray and leave.
Yeah,
That's stupid. Why would you do that?
because maybe you can't get inside. They just said that they have never been
The
able to.
Tabaxi did.
No, the Tabaxi came up. They came to the temple of the first ones, not into.
I bet they went into it. I think you're.
So
What? What
It's
actually
like
is
the
the pilgrimage?
DM.
Is the pilgrimage just to come to this place and that's
Yeah.
it? Or
it's like going to Sedona in Arizona.
okay?
It's just
So,
going to
yeah.
the place of power.
How weird.
It is the temple of the first ones. They're supposed to be the first ones of the entire planet of Avonvon.
I wouldn't care unless they were dragons here.
Some real Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull shit right here.
Yeah, I hope
That's
to
really
find some
funny.
answers. See
Okay.
what happened to my uncle.
So
They
Aliens,
have never
man.
been able to get inside the temple.
no, like that's what they were saying. Is it's very interesting when different parts of the greater temple are like become apparent, because it's always new to them. These are places that they've never been able to enter. They've never gained access to the temple. All they have is the ruins on top.
What if this Seville found a way in?
Well, that's beyond our understanding. We don't believe they would have had a way in. But, I mean, it's hard to doubt that anything is impossible. So Tim's going through all the notes, and
I'm
he's
going
like,
through every fucking page, every goddamn paragraph, every fucking sentence.
Yeah,
This
I don't
was-
believe you said that they never were able to get inside of it before.
no, because there was no distinction needed. Not until
do you
now.
Who just goes to a building and doesn't go inside? You just stand outside.
I don't know who stands on the top of a fucking random mesa in Sedona and is like, oh,
No building there.
that's
It's
still
kind of like
the
the,
That's a
it's kinda
big
like the
difference.
Mayan temples. Like there might be a bunch of shit buried under the Mayan temples, but nobody goes
Yeah.
inside it.
Nobody
They
goes
just go to the
inside it.
place.
But there's no door.
Who said there was a door
Maybe there is. You
here?
just can't find it. Or it's a giant slab of rock that doesn't look like a door, or any
Yeah.
number of million other things.
So as you get closer to
I
the
don't
top of this mesa, the three and Mita become very quiet, just kind of taking in what it means to ascend to the top. And you finally take a step up to the top. And before you, I dropped a picture in Discord. You see these incredible ruins.
Whoa.
They are very similar in a way. Ignore the people statues. There would be statues, but just in a different way. But that's kind of like how the ruins have been worn.
Yeah.
They are much more intact than the Chris ruins, which, if you're especially for Nimu, would be strange because this is on top of a very flat area. How is it that the Chris ruins have been worn down more by time than these? There's multiple different sections, some more worn down than others. The whole area is covered with multitudes of different kinds of plants and trees, stunted of course, as you are at a fairly decent elevation. And the three will lead you very quietly over to this area in front of the main temple that you see. God damn it, dude. I can feel their disappointment from here.
Seriously. Look at them. They're both looking down like they don't want anything to do with that picture of that bird.
Oh, poor.
Aw.
Oh.
And as they lead you to this enormous area in front of the main building, here the growth of the plants stops. There is a solid piece of stone that in any other town would be considered like the town square. But here it's not tiled. It's not multiple stones fitted together. It is a solid, smooth piece of stone. And on that stone are circles within circles of woven runes. I'll drop a picture kind of like what it would be, like very intricate runes. They step
Do I
up on...
understand any of these?
You would. Everybody would be able to pick out some of the runes, just like y'all did in Chris. And the three and Nita step onto it and just kind of begin walking around, just looking at the runes, contemplating them. Just it kind of seems like a form of meditation that you can assume when they have pilgrimages up here, or maybe every time that they come up here, this is just kind of part of their ritual to meditate on maybe the meaning of it, maybe just the power of what the first ones would have held, anything like that.
Okay, so I'm gonna whisper in Doris's ear. I don't get it. They're just walking on a picture. Do you know what they're doing?
It's just part of faith for them, I think.
They don't even know what it means, right? They're just walking. It looks like a bunch of scribbles.
Sort of like sacred place to them, I believe.
I'll go close to the circle and try to read it. It was written in Sylvan. I got a natural 1. +1.
Oh, big numbers, guys.
Yeah.
You do see some Sylvan, but it's in that ancient Sylvan. Anything that you had seen before, you might catch parts of the words that you had picked out before, but some of it is similar to what you had found before, but it seems more intricate here. It's, instead of groups of words, it's groups of meanings, if that means anything.
I'm just like cocking my head, trying to like looking at it. Looks just like a. Yeah, I have no fucking idea. Like, I don't think Nemo like.
Well, picture like all those different lines and symbols as different runes and languages and kind of woven together.
What's the check for trying to make sense of it?
You can do investigation or
100 intelligence check.
history.
Is it like 10 feet wide? Like, how big is it? How much information
It's
is there?
massive. I would say it's probably 30 feet round. I mean,
got a
it's
20 for history.
a 20 for history,
I got a 15.
15. Each of you sees. Let me start with EOA. The same runic symbols that you had seen before are repeated here. Though they are repeated. It's hard to say that a rune would be stronger, but it's almost as if the way it was written here exudes more power than the way it was written in Chris. There are other runes that include suppress and I'm trying to think of the word. What you can assume is the word for Avonvon, though it's kind of a mix of home, planet, world, that kind of thing. And then something about lock, seat, anchor.
I want to do a check too when you're done. Yeah.
We get to Jax. Jax. Here, the druidic wording that you saw in Chris was woven throughout when the massive runic spell was shown for that brief moment. Here, though, it seems that over all other languages, whether they be arcane or cultural languages that are used within this weave, Druidic language would be a majority here. There are entire lines of script woven that you get the feeling, though you can't quite make out the meaning exactly, that it is for prosperity or growth of, once again, planet Avonvon, home, this encompassing word that would hold all of that into a single meaning, as well as some kind of barrier, unbroken hold, and it's all just kind of woven in together, and it's just this beautiful looping script, like almost as if you could picture the way that you speak the druidic spells that you use and the way that you weave your hands for the somatic. This would be what it would look like if it was etched in stone.
Nimu can't help but feel that this isn't a temple, it's a mausoleum.
Do you take their dead here?
So I want to look around this place, and especially given my propensity for just going through runes and archaeology and history and stuff like that. Just looking at the architecture and the way things are laid out, and just like the feel that I get from this place, does it look like it could be more of a burial place than it is? Like, I think the feeling that I get is that people come here as a sense of like, this is where the first ones like did this great thing or did that great thing, or this is where they lived or some shit. But I think like he's got this feeling that there may be somebody or something buried here that is creating the power, not the other way around.
Okay, roll whatever you think you
like automatically he goes to like, okay, what is underneath this thing?
Yeah.
What is here, like archaeologically or historically, that would be causing.
Okay, so roll whatever you would be using for this.
History, I guess.
But it also could be investigation or
yeah,
like it's up to you what you use.
14.
And that was history.
History, it's basically intelligent. Yeah.
So those that have picked out words or anything, are y'all sharing this information between everybody?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Nimu, as everybody is kind of, reading over what they can, and you're listening in, but also looking around.
Barely listening. I'm like super enthralled with like where I am.
Yeah.
This area seemed to you, it's almost as if it's a culmination of everything that what they call the first ones did. You know of places in history that would take their dead as close to the heavens, which was a very, very old term, as possible, so that they would be close to the gods in their afterlife.
And what did you say? And what was it? What were the runes that were made out?
So there were many. You had.
Wrote down home, planet, Avonvon, lock, seat, anchor, barrier, unbroken, hold.
And suppress.
So they brought their dead here. That's what you said, right? They brought their dead here as a way to allow them to ascend to the afterlife.
That's what you have read in histories, or been told by visitors of histories of some of the ancient peoples who believed in gods and had deities. So whether you can make a significance between that and the placement of this, you might find more information if you were to look for verbiage or wording that was like specific to the languages the ancient languages that you know.
I don't think I know it.
You know.
I'm Sylvan, Elvish. That's it. But even then, I'm 14. Like, that's fucking silly to even say I know those. I mean, I know, like, you know, these RPG games, you just kind of magically learn
Well, I don't know
languages.
why you would know Elvish. I would take Elvish off of there.
Because you have to pick shit. That's
Okay,
why
so
it's stupid.
right. But for your history, it doesn't make sense. Like something that would make more sense is Draconic.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I don't know if I'd had enough exposure to actually be able to study it. But I mean, that was the other option, right?
Right. Like there's going to
I
be
guess-
very few of you who are completely fluent in multiple languages. EOA would be very fluent in Terran.
Okay, we'll put it this way. We'll say I'm not fluent in Draconic, but I have studied it to the extent that I can.
Yeah.
With the resources that are available to me.
Well, that's kind of how I deal. Like that's how I deal with Soli understanding
Yeah.
Sylvan and
Sylvan,
Jax understanding Druidic. Like if
Yeah.
you were fluent, you'd be able to go over there and read it all.
So I'm gonna change my languages. I'm taking this off.
Okay. Yeah, I know
I
a
mean,
little
and
bit
that's-
of Draconic too. I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's just
really
one of those
don't.
things that like now that we know your characters better, if it doesn't make sense, fucking change it.
Yeah. Well, like, so I'm trying to figure out where the other.
I'm not gonna say you're fluent in that shit. You don't get to meet a dragon and be like, I know Draconic. Sorry,
Right.
guys.
I feel
So
like I would know partial Draconic just because my natural mouth moves that way.
I would say if Nimu or Soli were to say a Draconic word, you would understand that you would understand that they would be pronouncing it wrong. It's like
Yeah.
somebody speaking to you in very accented English when they're trying to speak
Yeah.
Spanish, right? Like you would
I don't know
understand
what
that it wasn't.
means, but it's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I will butcher Draconic.
That doesn't sound right.
Or like if I was to speak it, it would be this. Which of course could change the entire meaning of a word. But
So my ass is Indiana Jonesing this place. I'm gonna walk around. I'm looking for like trapdoor and like
Yeah,
what
I'll go.
like bricks that you can press and shit.
Well, I'll go with Minion. I'm very
Okay.
interested to see what.
Like I'm super interested, and like to me, it just feels like to me they have this place wrong. Like it feels like to me that this whole place is like being looked at incorrectly.
all right, roll investigation. Y'all can either both roll, or one of you can roll with advantage. Doros, is there anything?
You roll, Millie.
Okay.
I rolled an 8.
All right, here we go. Dice, do not
Yeah.
fail me. Please do not fail
Yeah.
me. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Oh shit.
All right, Dorus, is there
boy.
anything that you wanted to do specifically?
Yeah, I have a couple of different things if I can. First, I want to just walk the outside of the rune circle, and what I'm not trying to read it or anything, but I'm trying to discern if there's a pattern or if any of it is repeating or if it's all unique.
Okay, absolutely. This is gonna be a lower DC. Roll. What the fuck would that be? You tell me what you would roll for that.
Probably just
That's like
investigation. I
intelligence or
suppose.
investigation, yeah.
Roll your common sense die.
15.
Oh, yeah.
While I'm walking around too, I'm gonna be playing my flute. It helps me concentrate.
They're all praying, and you're just like.
Well, it's a solemn song, you know. I'm just trying to make up kind of a thinking song. Thinking.
You hear Mia
I like
in the
that.
distance as she's standing in the center of the rooms. You know, kind of humming along.
Yeah.
So Dorus, after you walk about 2/3 of the way around, you finally see the pattern. It's incredibly. Once you see it, you know it's there, and it's incredibly easy to spot. But if you weren't looking for it, it'd been very easy to pass up. So you kind of reverse and make sure that you're correct, and you come back. There is a looping pattern to these runes. And the main thing that you notice is the loop doesn't go outwards, which would be kind of what you would expect to, like, whatever it was to kind of envelop the entire area. The loop actually goes back into the circle, and that inner ring of scripts, it meets up with that. And the inner ring of scripts itself seems to be a very, 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 very small writing in very, very many different runic or arcane languages. But it is like a Mobius strip of repeat, or like of repetition around that inner ring. Almost as if it's looping it right
So is
there
it
in
like
the center.
a single phrase or like a single sentence or something in
It would be
words?
multiples. It would be like the chant that y'all have, right? It's
I have to say,
multiple.
is this the chant?
It's multiple sentences that are just constantly weaving around each other and looping around the inner ring.
Okay. I'd like to, after we have more time at the end or something, maybe take like a rubbing of the smaller inner part.
Yeah.
Like a paper rubbing or whatever. But before I do that, I want to sit just kind of on the, say, the south end of the circle, or like the end that we came in from, maybe. I want to sit, like, kneel on my knees and close my eyes. And I want to just like clear my mind of everything and try and see if there's any hint of a memory or anything I can pick up from this place.
Oof, that's dangerous. Okay,
Can I
So-
also do this?
absolutely you can.
But I also want to like listen for the chant.
The chant you have heard the entire time. But it did get louder as you came up. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that. I just didn't put it in my notes, but I had thought it earlier. It did get louder as you were ascending. Not to the point where, like, before you had heard this, and it was like you almost couldn't hear anything outside of it. But it's there and you know it. It's as loud as Mita humming in the center of the circle, or Nemu playing outside and while he's investigating.
I want
Fine.
to like put my hand on Doris's shoulder and just be like, "You can do this. Just focus. Kind of shut out everything and just focus." And inadvertently cast guidance on him.
Very cool.
Yeah, he doesn't know he can do that yet, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
Just
trying to channel my
feel-
mind, like sort of how we had those nightmare visions, or like when I saw that lady kind of reaching out to us. I heard that lady. Just trying to clear my
yeah.
mind and see if there's any memories like that here.
Yep. So I'm gonna let y'all meditate for a second. As y'all settle down and begin to meditate, the three seem to have just been finishing up their meditation or whatever it is that they were doing. Mita kind of joining in along with them. More just kind of like they're just taking in the aura of this place, which is very, very strong. Especially for Jax, who like very much resonates with the energy of this place. And they'll address you, but let me get back to Nemu and Soli. So what you do find is actually a lack of something. Just as in the picture, there are doorways. None of the doorways go anywhere. Whatever it was that they went to seems to have either been completely eroded away,
Or they were portals to different places.
Yes, portals.
but they just go into open spaces. There are no complete buildings, though from what you can tell,
So maybe they literally were carried off to the heaven. It's possible they actually were carried off somewhere then.
yeah, so from what you can tell, that some of the like what you can tell from the ruins that you see is it doesn't make sense that there aren't any enclosed buildings, or at least partially enclosed buildings.
So I'll walk up to the other people then. Guys, I found nothing. You should come see this. Come look at these rooms. They just go nowhere. It's so weird. It's almost like I know we were told that this place, like, I think we were told this, like, people were carried off to, I don't know, either way, people went to like the heavens or something, right? But there's like all these rooms that don't go anywhere, and maybe these people were super magical and they had portals that went to like different like dimensions and realms and stuff. And maybe this place, I don't know if it's still magical, but because I don't read runic, unfortunately.
I like how
Feel
he's
the
saying
power of
this.
this place.
I like how he's saying this while we're trying to clear our minds.
I know. He's just like,
I know, for sure.
it just spews out all this stuff.
But I'm trying to find stuff because it seems weird. Like, it just seems like they don't have this place right. Like, there's something more about this place they don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't think they know anything about this place, to be honest with you.
Could be anything.
So a few things are going to happen at the same time. Dorus, EOA, Jax, even. I need you to roll. Just roll straight wisdom for me plus your modifier. As you try to, maybe not Jax so much, but as EOA and Dorus try to just kind of clear their minds and focus on what they're trying to focus on.
You really want a wisdom check for me?
I know,
That's
I'm
18.
sorry. You got a what?
17.
Very nice. Dorus, 13, that's good.
I think I can add my d4 to this, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
And I got an 8.
an 8. Okay.
16
Wow.
total.
Very nice. So I'll start with EOA. EOA, as you begin focusing and kind of just, you hear this chant and you hear the words more clearly now. You know they're supposed to make sense to you. But for some reason, you just can't clearly make out these words. Other than the very end. And it would be the equivalent of "so mote it be" in like a Wiccan ritual. Dorus, as you are focused, and then you would start hearing Nimu chattering away. Dorus, as you're sitting there and Jax comes up and puts his hand on your shoulder, and you kind of feel this release of stress in a way, as he seems to have inadvertently cast some kind of spell on you, but at the same time his presence almost boosts the feeling of that peace and welcome of the Temple of the First Ones itself. You try to kind of gain some kind of connection or memory of what you had seen before, and you feel the thrum of the binds and that quiver that you know has been here. And the longer you sit and find yourself in this place, that random quiver through the binds, as it comes, it's almost as if you catch a glimpse, that in-between space, where you saw those lights and the spirits. You're not there, but you can feel whatever this quiver is opening up the separations that are supposed to exist between the different realms of existence. Jax, as you have your hand on Dorus's shoulder, it's almost as if this place wants you to plant your roots here. And it's almost just holding onto Dorus's shoulder, you now feel the power of the bind, but in a completely different way. You feel it as almost as Avenvon, as the planet itself would inhale and exhale the energy that encompasses all. But you feel the quiver. The quiver for you has a different effect. It's not the same as the flashbacks that you've had before. It's more so that this place holds memories. And at that moment, Nemu and Soli come up, and Nemu's like, I found nothing, you guys, you should really see this. And the three turn around and they begin talking, just ever so quietly, very much at peace in this moment. All of their doubts gone from the questioning on the way up to the temple. We have been granted the most important mission for generations, to keep this place as close to what it was as possible. We are the keepers of history. We are the holders of the anchor to the land, as it has always been since we became. We want nothing more than to aid you in any way possible to help repair the damage that was done. Nemu, I'm going to narrate for you here for a second. Comes up and is like, runs up onto this giant stone over the runes and is like getting in people's faces. Come on, you gotta see this. And as soon as Nemu and Soli both set foot onto the runic stone, all of a sudden, ephemeral.
Yeah, that's right. Ephemeral. Yeah, you got.
Ephemeral vines appear, hanging from invisible trees. Ghostly grasses, ferns, flowers, dragonflies, insects, shrubs, and a few small little wind spirits all appear in their ghostly forms, each of them glowing with a different color. Green for the vines, yellow for the grasses, red for the dragonflies, purple for the flowers, white for the insects, orange for the shrubs, and blue for the small wind spirits. A weaving line of runes, and I would say those that had their eyes closed would feel something changing and would immediately open your eyes. A weaving line of runes alights on the stones beneath you, drawing the energy from all the apparitions as they themselves slowly fade. The spectrum spectrum of energy flows through the runes, combining to a pure white light. A great flash of light from the pattern suddenly fills your vision. And as it fades, a peaceful, welcoming, golden peak of the most beautiful sunsets envelop you all. The comfort. Yeah.
So in that picture that you sent us, are the circles in the center, like the dark ones, are those recesses?
They would be.
I want to put my memory ball in the center. Like, actually try to like just set it in the middle.
I will say you'll have to do this after this event,
Okay,
since you were kind of lost in a meditation as this began.
sounds good.
You will have that, just don't forget, because I might. And then of course, if you still want to after everything happens. The comfort of the Druid Sanctuary in Chris seems nothing but a child's attempt at mimicking what you now are experiencing. This light seems to sink into the very essence of your being. Just warm, comforting, peaceful. Until suddenly, Soli's storm explodes out arcs of lightning in every direction.
What?
Dorus, your eyes flash with the symbol. and redirect the lightning to strike the ground. Jax, your memory bead erupts with light. The rune beneath Ioe's feet flares to life, and everyone begins sinking into this stone as if you are on sand. Everyone at the same time hears and feels a low, grumbling growl.
That picture.
That
There's,
sends
how many points are there?
6, it looks like.
7.
Well, the center, 7.
I'm just saying, I might be Captain Flash.
And so everyone hears a low, grumbling growl that sends waves of cold through their bodies as the eyes of Nemu's decanter glow an intense blue. Your dragon thing.
Oh.
A solid pillar of symbols and arcane energy suddenly becomes visible, anchored at the center of the platform you are now standing. Lightning still going off. Dorus, your symbol, constantly having to protect everybody on this platform from the wild arcs of lightning coming from Soli's storm. Jax, you get brief glimpses of histories that you know don't belong to you, what happened to you, or even recent history. Though they are so fast you cannot contain them. The pillar itself, now visible, though for somehow, some way you know it's always been there, stretches straight up into the sky, the outer layer of it peeling away to infuse the dome around Maze End Hollow. The platform, the ruins, including what is still there and what is no longer, all now contained within. They all dance with arcane runes and symbology. It wavers with a pulse slightly out of time, inconsistent, as if with the same wavering in the bind itself. Areas of runes don't seem to be alighting correctly. Nemu, roll on your wild magic table.
Oh boy, here we.
Jax,
Is my compass spinning?
if you had the fortitude to take out your compass and look at it, it is bouncing and spinning. Jax, I need you to make a wisdom save. Soli, I need you to make a charisma save.
Yo,
Ioe, I'm gonna be nice. It's a con save.
thank you.
Dorus, I need you to make an intelligence save.
I was so ready for you to say wisdom.
I know. All right.
Yeah, got
Sully,
22.
what did you get?
22.
A
I'm so happy.
22?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, I got like.
Dorus.
I'm not very intelligent, but I got a 19 total.
Wow, guys, that's awesome. Ioe, con save.
I beg for inspiration. I got a 9.
Oh, so
Spicy meat.
Jax Wiz,
12.
12. Nemu, what happens first?
I regained all my expended sorcery points. I rolled a straight 1 on 1 to 100.
So, being as this place is, everybody regains all of their spent spell slots. I know, I'm sorry.
Get wrecked.
I would say if you spent any of your runes, that would all this would be applicable for your runes.
Oh, damn it! He benefit.
I'm sorry.
Yay.
I will start with Dorus.
Electrify.
Dorus. As the energy of this place suddenly becomes very apparent to you, whereas before it was just an underlying hum. Now it's as if you're a part of it. And you see those massive that look anyway, gaping holes of runes that did not alight or are no longer alighting, whatever that may be. This now wavering as it comes through the pulse and the binds. Instead of that place with the lights and the spirits, the shallows, suddenly you see a room. It feels so familiar. C.R. Saenti, at the very beginning of this journey, brought you to her chamber of crystal. But what you now see before you is similar in a way, but this would have been made of ruby. The dome of this room has shattered outward and is floating in the void of whatever had once contained this room. The great rubies that are in a similar position to the crystals in C.R. Saenti's chamber are cracked, broken apart, nothing but large shards sitting amongst this broken floor. Ioe, your runes and those that you see before you begin to dance in your vision. You had a flashback of the Vareki. Just him sneezed and it scared the shit out of me for no reason. You had a flashback of the Vareki fighting an unseen foe. This time, you now see what they're fighting. They're not fighting an enemy. They're fighting each other. They're fighting others of the Vareki, even those not skilled in the arts of warfare. Somehow, some way, they have found themselves almost slaughtering people. Soli, a dragon, chasing you. The rumbling that emitted from Nimu's decanter fills your mind. And instead of being that scared child, you can now view it from a third person's point of view, away from the fear and the crippling, awaiting death that chased you as a child. Though it didn't seem to have any dark intent, now that you really look at it, you stare deep into its red eyes, and it breathes over you, and you are changed forever. And when you go back home, your family had seen that light in you as well, and they did not approve. Jax.
So cool.
12 wisdom save. You'd been briefly getting these images of another time. All of a sudden, you're there. As yourself, no one else. But you feel whole. As if the fracture of your memory and truly of your soul had happened, or before this had happened. You don't hold your own memories, but you know yourself as whole. You watch as the buildings around you are now intact. Beautiful, sweeping buildings, all of them just slightly different. Each one of them giving you the feeling of the land, but this one of the desert, this one of the deep forests, this one of the swamps, all of the different types of landscapes that could be found on Avonvon, this truly was what you feel to be the seat of the land of Avonvon. Unfortunately, as you go back, some of the memories of this place will be drawn into your memory orb and may become scrambled with those that are already so very disjointed. So it may be more difficult to sort out what belonged to you and what was taken from this place. As all of this happens at the same time, and everybody kind of comes back to themselves, you hear a voice. Not male, not female, speaking into whatever language you are most comfortable in to each individual person. The information has been gathered. You have been granted access to the Spectral's private chamber. You feel suddenly as if you're falling from great heights. Complete darkness. Then you're in a chamber. And we'll take a quick break.
That is epic.
So we like fell through the floor basically?
You don't feel as if you fell through the floor. You didn't feel you're passing through the floor, but you did feel as if you were falling.
I thought you said at one point like we were getting kind of like quicksanded into the floor.
Yeah. So there was an activation that happened when everybody stepped onto the platform, and all of that energy was absorbed from all the spectral type creatures that had touched you, bitten you, caressed you. All of the information that they had gathered was absorbed into the platform itself, and everybody's energy kind of activated in different ways. Mostly, the energy from your possibility, and it just so happened that EOA's rune from the possibility makes him glide as if on sand, and it just kind of,
Gotcha.
changed the texture of the ground a little bit. Yeah. So we'll go on a quick break, and then we'll come back and finish up the temple. I hope, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably not. Probably not. But at least we're here now.
We have officially arrived.
We got here. Alright, we're back. This next part, I have dropped something into the Google Drive because it's just too big. If I was to link the picture, I don't know if you'd be able to see it. So, sinking, falling, darkness, and then this chamber. This chamber seems to have once been the private sitting room or office of whoever once owned it. It's very small and intimate. There's a desk, a few chairs, but everything seems to be growing here. The desk itself seems to have been woven out of branches and not carved. The chairs as well, even the decor on the walls has been painted almost by different colors of vines and flowers and branches. The only thing you truly notice at first is on the desk is a letter and a stone. Also drop stone. The letter. First off, is there anything else y'all want to do in this room before anybody goes for the letter and the stone?
I want to look around and see if there's like any runes or anything.
Okay.
Maybe like, yeah, anything maybe in the off chance maybe related to the wolf. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll investigation.
14.
14. Strangely enough, there are no runes here. Which is odd, because as you begin walking around the room, even without sunlight, though now that you're looking, there would have been 2 grand windows in this room, but are now blocked off by what you would assume is part of the mesa. The plants themselves, the flowers, turn to you as they did on your walk up here, or in the areas around Gornshin. They still seem to be alive and thriving, but you don't see any runes that would keep them, specifically in this room, so well alive.
Is there a doorway, or is a like conspicuous lack of a doorway?
Conspicuous lack of a doorway.
I'd like to cast Detect Magic and take a gander around the room.
Ooh, okay. Detect Magic. The entire room gives off a very faint glow.
Yeah,
And-
specifically, I'm looking for like fake wall panels, or that would be like open, or like extra hidden places, maybe that look like a magically hidden doorway or something.
There would be an area where this light green glow would be stronger, but it would be an entire wall, and you're not sure if it would be a doorway or not. But the entire area does glow this really soft green, and you get the feeling, though you can't see it, that the energy that you now see goes beyond this room, not towards the windows, but in the other direction, but also above and below you a bit. So this room is not singular, though you don't see any way in or out.
Got it. And I also examine like the desk and the rock and the paper to see if they're magical, or they just
Very. The note
glowing like
actually,
everything else.
yeah, the note is not magical. It is mundane. The stone is 100% magical.
Can you describe the room again?
It's just a very simple rectangular room with 2 great. If the desk would have been seated between the 2 great windows on either side, which the window frames themselves are grown. It's just these beautiful vines and branches, and in the corners, instead of pillars, there's like tree trunks that grow up. The rest of the room, there's only a couple of chairs as in extra seating, and a few areas where a couple of branches have kind of like come up and offer a little bit, like a small tree to decorate the room with. And strange flowering vines that the flowers seem very curious about your adventures in this room. Seems very plain.
I'm still searching every nook and cranny.
What'd you say, Eowyn? Eowyn? Sorry.
What'd you call me?
I don't know. I tripped over the vowel. It was just Eowyn.
Evelyn.
I don't know. I missed the vowel completely and stuck my lips together and I came out Eowyn. Yahweh.
I want to pick up the rock that Dorus is eyeing.
Okay.
It's a very powerful rock, stone.
Very, very, very strong magic.
I relayed like I wasn't able to find an entrance and that there's maybe rooms above and below us and nothing else majorly magical other than the room itself and this rock.
I'm reading the note.
Okay. Dax?
I can feel the magic through just by holding it, right?
Yeah. I can't hear you. Punch it.
Poor guy's probably been talking for like 10 minutes.
I'm sorry. Oh no. Oh no. He needs a card that just like has like a hand raised or just like raise his hand. Saying, I have something I want to say. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Tech issues, card.
Just needs to flip his computer around on his desk so the cords are facing him.
I know, that's true.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, holy crap, I was like, damn,
I'm so
no one's
sorry.
hearing me. Well, the bad part is I still light up, so from my point of view, I still look like I'm being received, so.
So weird.
Well, you can just assume if like you say something and nobody responds, we're not ignoring you. It's probably attacking.
Yeah. Anyways, what I was trying to say was as we were all kind of landing, Jax was gonna be like, roll call, everyone here. Did we all make it safely?
Yeah, I'm
I think so.
Dorus, y'all here?
I'll be checking if my tail is still on.
Your tail is still on. However, the three are not, and neither is
no Mita.
Mita.
No Mita?
What?
No Mita.
No.
Yes, I think we all survived, but did anyone else have like memory flash quickly?
Yes, I had a very interesting dream. I don't know. I don't know if it was a dream or a flashback or something, but
It's a crystal room. Did you see same thing or different?
No, I saw a powerful dragon.
Your wild magic was fucking great.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my wild magic. I blew wild magic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that my Phoenix rod isn't going insane, throwing lightning everywhere.
I know I saw something, but most I can grasp is just something called the Sea of Avonbon.
Sea of Avonbon.
The seat. I think that might be where we are.
Oh.
I know there's more. I know there's more. It's all just jumbled.
Okay, so what are you doing exactly? And then I'll read the letter as Soli is reading.
I'm going through every nook and cranny of this room. Right over to the walls, right over to all this stuff.
Roll your archaeology.
Yeah, what is that anyway? Is that intelligence? I guess.
I don't know.
Should I just keep it? Should I just? So this is the one cool thing. Okay, this is the only time I'm going to say this is this stream.
Here it comes.
But
Just
the
wait.
one cool thing, if you take a background in P2E Pathfinder, it actually adds the skill to your fucking skills, so you can actually roll that skill. So like I would have archaeology on my screen and it would give me a bonus. But anyway, since I don't, I'm gonna do history, which is the next closest thing. Yeah.
Don't you have archaeology tools?
Not that I'm aware of. Like I have cartographer's tools because there's no archaeology tools.
But we had said you had them in the Chris.
You should be able to make up your own toolkits and what it's used for, right?
Why not? Yeah, sure. I've got an archaeologist toolkit, along with the tiny little laptop that tells me specific locations.
Okay, so first off, you use archaeology tools in Chris. So, yeah. You said
if you're proficient with history and you use archaeological tools, you should roll with advantage.
There you go.
Am I proficient with archaeology?
Your entire history is fucking archaeological. Literally tagging along with adults on archaeological digs, learning whatever you can, digging up whatever you can in your spare time. Because fuck school.
Yeah.
I rolled a 2 and a 7.
I'm sorry.
For 10. Because none of our rolls are worth the shit.
Yeah, it's very bad.
There's nothing quite like getting to a massive lore dump and nobody being able to learn lore.
There's some coming, don't you worry about it.
It's so awesome.
It's just so disappointing.
I know. There would be
beyond. We gotta stop digital rolling.
Yeah.
I'm rolling physical.
Yeah, this is true.
Let's get physical.
So I will say that Dorus points out to you the wall that seemed to have much stronger magic. Though you're not able to find anything that, like, in physically, not magically, would like be able to open or move or anything like that. Solely the letter. To any who enter here, read this letter in its entirety, and you will be granted the ability to take a single item from my personal collection. It is a humble collection, as all items that could tempt others to repeat our failings have been destroyed or hidden where no other can find them. This is a warning to all who come. We have failed in our ability to balance the scales of power. In our desire to unite the binds in all its various and wondrous waves, we inadvertently led our world to disaster. The ways of the binds are woven into all worlds and all planes. In our ignorance, we brought forth powers and beings far beyond Avenvon, and all the creatures on Avenvon could contain or combat. That which the leaders of the ways brought into reality found its own roots in Avenvon. The weave we created that once brought unimagined abilities and prosperity to our beautiful planet could not be destroyed. Instead, we have altered it and hidden it. The waves of the binds have been stymied. No longer will it entice and lure those who are too weak to comprehend the ramifications of its endless possibilities and destruction. The waves are to be scattered to the wind, removing the temptation of altering the weave. To have entered here can only mean you have been influenced by the waves or manipulated by creatures beyond our waves in the binds. I am pleading with you, I beg. To alter the weave is to release creatures who are held by it. Those we could not defeat with all our borrowed and stolen powers. Those who we brought from places beyond Avenvon. Refounding the waves will create ripples in the great river that binds all, breaking the levees we have created and flooding Avenvon with powers it cannot contain. View the memory within the stone if you wish to see what the future could hold in all its tragedy and arrogance. I believed in the ways above all other things, as did we all. In our belief, we forgot about that which ties everything together, life, to live, to experience the time we are given and the gifts we receive. We stole, we manipulated, and we lost ourselves. Signed, Audrey Sion, Lady of the Land, formerly Spectral, Anchor of the Land. Location, Seat of the Land. Quote, unlimited power equals limitless corruption. So now you know what the stone contains.
The best.
Should we all touch it at the same time? I'm currently holding it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll touch it.
Yeah, I'll touch it.
Me too.
Fuck it, why not?
So, as you all lay a finger or hand on the stone, I mean, it's, you know, the size of my palm. It's fairly large. Yeah. And you all takes a moment, nothing happens. And then it's as if the stone realizes your intent to view what it holds. You are the spectral anchor of the land. The one who had left this note. You know this beyond all else. You look down upon Enorsa. Wow, Avenvon. Sorry, guys. You look down upon
I wasn't
Avenvon.
even gonna correct. Because I didn't even think.
You look down upon Avenvon. Almost as if you're outside of the timeline that it exists upon. And you look on in growing horror as time passes. The leaders of the ways, you know are known as the Spectrals, become addicted to the power that you helped bridge on Avenvon, arrogantly waving away any warnings that you and the other seats, anchors, had given. You watch as the dragons retreat, your greatest allies, your greatest friends, and those creatures that were created by and drawn to the wonders you had helped create. These spectrals capture their gods. They devour them. They tear them apart. And they turn on each other to fight over the parts that are left. They fight over the power of these gods, becoming greater than the gods themselves, but without the laws that dictate their actions. From this time outside of time, you watch fractures form in space. Creatures the size of kingdoms, power that bows all creatures before it under the weight of just its existence. Lesser creatures of the world frozen in place. The spectral anchors and spectral of balance come together. They begin creating the weave that you now understand is what you have seen here in the Hollow. They work on this weave to limit the power on Avenvon, severing the connections to greater waves of the bind. As they do, the followers of the ways flee the planet, as their power fades as the weave grows. The great colossals that had come through these great tears, falling and crashing down to the planet below. The anchors, you now being one of them, along with Balance, who now that you see this creature, you know that's CR Saenti, whom you've already met. As they finish the weave, they grant one last gift before they leave Avenvon. Time rushes forward from this place outside of time. Sentience is bestowed upon the greatest creatures of sentience is bestowed upon the greatest creatures left on Avenvon. The history of them is told in the blink of an eye, led down the paths pre-written by the spectrals and balance. Time stops and resumes as it would in your everyday lives. Avenvon is now in balance. The anchors hidden within new landscapes. New races have emerged. The bind flows throughout peacefully, calmly.
So just to get this straight, we are viewing this through the eyes of the person that left the letter.
Yes.
Okay, all right, because there's a lot of information.
You will have this.
And I went into full idiot mode there for a good 5 minutes.
You will have this. This is part of the script.
Okay.
New races have emerged. The bind flows throughout, peacefully, calmly, now limited by the weave and what Avenvon can contain. Exhausted, the spectrals and balance look to each other. No words are exchanged, but an overwhelming sense of finality infuses what you see. Tears can be seen held back in all their eyes. As one, they exhale slowly, close their eyes, and fade. The memory ends. You now see what was brought by their desire to gain power, and why the weave exists.
So we have the weave, and then we have the bind.
So the bind is something that is eternal, and if it was made, it would be made by like the one God who created the universe and all the planes that exist. It would be like how energy in our world can never, like energy never is destroyed. It's just changed, right? That's the bind. That's the arcane energy that infuses everything within all realms, the universe, all the different planes of existence. The weave is the physical, magical, the pattern that you see around the hollow that apparently extends all throughout Avenvon. That was created by the spectral anchors and the spectral of balance.
So could we guess then that weave is what grants magical abilities to the different races of Avenvon?
This says it actually
Like if the... Oh, okay. I was thinking like if the weave were to disappear, what would happen?
This says that what you
So
saw
then
is actually...
it would go nuts completely.
Yeah, this is... the weave actually contains like a limiter from allowing more of the arcane power of the binds to be here. Which may be why everybody stopped at level 4.
So,
Maybe.
Well, it says that the weave is what brought the abilities, to control magics, but they couldn't destroy it because people were abusing it, so they altered and hid it.
Yes. So originally the weave was, they had created it to infuse more to gain more power.
Yeah. But they abused it, and so people finding it and abusing it, they tried to hide it. Like,
Yeah, they changed it to limit the amount of power, and no. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, it might be. No. As you come out of the memory,
So it says the weave we created that once brought unimagined abilities and prosperity could not be destroyed. Instead, we have altered it, hidden it. So it brought unimagined abilities, and then they suppressed it.
Yeah, they couldn't destroy it.
Maybe it's what the suppressed rune came from on the ground.
maybe? That's exactly right, yes. Y'all have read quite a bit of, not quite a bit, like at least a portion of this to understand that what you have read would make sense as to.
So maybe every ritual they performed inscribed something on the ground. Wouldn't it be really cool if it, you know, like you have like not calligraphy, but that art style where it's like pens, like fractals, where like every time a new form of magic was introduced or was performed by this group, another fractal appeared in the thing, and that ended up becoming the weave, right? Like it was kind of woven as they were creating it, even without their knowledge, like without, I don't know, maybe it was a mistake, maybe that's a mistake they made, you know, that they didn't suppress it as they were doing it, and it kind of went nuts.
Well, the unfortunate thing about not being an all-encompassing like being of creation is that you are bound to make mistakes.
Yeah, they've used everything they had power over.
So these were like beings created by like the main honcho,
So
or the universe, or whatever.
So these beings, as having been one for that short period of history, you understand that they are not from Avenvon itself. Avenvon wasn't technically, from what you understand, they would have been the first ones. These four, the three anchors in the spectral of balance, would have been the first four beings here. They don't really have a form, which is why you all saw CR Saenti as a different form. They kind of are what you would expect them to be. But the strange thing is, the races that you saw, none of them are what are here now. You saw humans and elves and gnomes, and what we know outside of game as the Asimar, the Ganassi, and many other races that seem to have been invited here as they, or found their way here, drawn by the power that was being created. And they are the ones that fled as their power was being limited.
So she begs with us not to alter, or not to, to alter.
Yeah.
So all the people originally here left or either died, and then all the animal races got sentience, basically.
That was their last gift to Avenvon. As they sat outside of time and granted them sentience and led their fate to where they are now. And then left. For those who are creatures of Avenvon, Dorus, Nimu, Iawe, this might hurt, or not, depending on how your character would see it. Because technically, they would be your creators, in a way, in a strange way.
Well,
Not
whoever
as-
created the animals was a creator.
Right.
And then all they did was just like
Progenitors?
release the.
We were once pets and then we got released.
Yeah, but they
If I had
called
a cigarette, I would smoke it right now.
They did say the greatest creatures of Avenvon are the ones that they chose to grant sentience to. So
That's right, we're the greatest creatures, motherfucker. Silly humanoid races.
Oh,
this was after they had left.
Yeah, I'm just reading over this thing. View the memory. Just
Right? Can I roll a history check to guess how old Loxodon society is? Like, what do Loxodons as a race know about their own history?
Yeah.
What I want to know is like how far back in time can we trace Loxodon history?
Okay.
Rolled a 1.
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ,
I know
man.
nothing.
We're so bad tonight. I want to know all this information too. It fucking sucks.
I know. I promise you, if you don't get it tonight, that like this is obviously going to be the theme of the campaign, so that more information will come. I don't want y'all to feel like you're never going to understand what's really like, you know, the histories and that kind of thing.
The waves
Can you
are
just-
scattered to the wind, removing the temptation of altering the wheel.
Can I guess if it was like, you know, like 100 years are known or like 1,000 years are known?
I would say
Ballpark?
like, yeah, it would be probably 1,000 years, ballpark. Like maybe longer. Written history shorter.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds about right. It could be 2,000. Like we can go off the history of humans, right? Like we understand our history very well. I say very well. For like 2,000 years, and then everything is ruins. You know?
Yeah, like, is there Loxodon? You know, obviously I'm an elephant, but like humans have, you know, cavemen's bones buried in rock from millennia ago, right? So like, I doubt there's that kind of like archaeology for animal reasons, right?
Strangely enough, you know what? That wouldn't even be a thought in the current races on Avonvon. Because it was there wasn't as long of an evolutionary period. It was more like God came down and tapped you on the nose and you found sentience and kind of had a history of basic knowledge inserted into your brains. And from there, it seemed from what you understood in that moment as the creature, as that being, that they guided each race as a whole to a point of balance almost for Avonvon.
Yeah, now we know who God is.
Yeah. A little bit of screaming. Is it Softstone or Hardstone? Hi, Stella. It's been a long time. It's good to see your name.
I have a theory.
Hmm.
I'm gonna send it to you in PMs.
Okay. However, I will say, and this is without checks,
You're
that
smiling.
the weave as you knew it, steadfast you knew it, is not what you saw. The weave has been changed, not by you, but the areas that first off wow, that wavering within the bind didn't exist, and the dark spots that you saw within the weave were not there. The dark spots that you saw where some of the strings were not lighting up before you came down here, it was everything was lit, everything was in balance. So something has changed. It wasn't y'all's doing, but something has been changed.
It's like something is weakening the weave.
Yeah.
Or changing it, I guess.
Stupid tobacco.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, exactly. Is there any way I could check the room to see if other people have been down here before us?
Yeah,
Like
you can try.
footprints or fingerprints on stuff or anything like that?
Yeah.
Like I assume there's dust around everything if it's a very old place.
Strangely enough, there's not. There doesn't seem to be any dust, but there also doesn't seem to be any airflow, which makes the plants even a stranger occurrence. But I'll give this one to you without even a roll, because the letter itself, like as you finish reading it and you pass it around, you're kind of reading little bits and pieces of it. When you release it, like you can tell, like it's been opened. It doesn't completely curl back up. But when you found it on the table, the scroll was very, very tight. So it doesn't seem to have been from what you can tell right off the bat, doesn't seem to have ever been read in however long this has been. And also, you did see that as the idea of the anchors being hidden, this area had small mountains instead of mesas. So this entire area was hidden at one point.
Meaning the whole valley kind of thing?
No, just the where the two mesas that the ruins sit on.
Oh, okay.
They just didn't do a very good job of making it of stone, and they made it of dirt, and that shit washed the fuck away. Sorry, what?
Is this room outside of time?
No. Not that you can tell, not from the feeling that you remember from the vision, the memory stone.
There was no dust or anything. I was just wondering if it was.
Yeah. No, you seem to be still like in your timeline. It's a very strange feeling to be outside of time. You felt it in C.R. Santee's chamber. You felt it within the memory. There was so you felt this strange kind of and also I would say in the shallow and the shatter, but you don't have that weird feeling right now.
What do you guys think it means by we all get to take a single item from a personal collection?
Maybe there's some hidden. I'm not sure. Maybe have some magical items.
Are you still holding the letter and the stone?
I am.
I'm not. I already. Yeah, I just put.
I took my hand off it once.
Yeah. Like.
I will say on the desk, there is like a divot in the part of it that had grown as the writing surface where the scroll would fit perfectly. As if it had been waiting for somebody to pick it up, but it's also a place to put it back down. So for anybody who is holding the scroll at this moment, if you were to place it back in that nice little space.
I stop her. I go, wait.
What?
Want to copy letter before we put away in case it burns or something.
Oh, okay.
I take 2 minutes and rewrite the letter into my notebook, the entire letter.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
I'd probably do the same.
All right, copies are made. He's only making a cup for Ari. So as everybody completes copying the scroll, those who are going to do it, the scroll is placed back on the desk, and once it is placed, that wall Dorus that had a much stronger magical appearance, the vines and even the trunks of the trees that made up the pillars within just kind of separate out a little bit to open a doorway. And beyond that doorway is a very simple room. It's like a closet, though once again looks to have been naturally grown, as if somebody just sat here and talked to the plants and told them what to do. And it has multiple shelving that kind of come out on branches, and there is a small collection of magical items.
Whoa.
So let me.
And yoink.
Oh my
I
God.
wonder what would happen if we tried to take more than one apiece.
Yeah.
Still do not see a way out of the room, right? Still just a
No,
closet.
you do not.
Guessing if we pick something up, we're gonna get transported out of here.
Grab two things.
Just like the whole table.
At the same time, grab two things.
Oh god,
Oh,
two
found
parts of you might go in different directions.
I'm trying to figure out how to alter the wave or the weave so that I can bring dragons. My character
What?
is super fucking bummed that dragons are no longer around.
It said they retreated or like they left. The
know.
allies like retreated.
Well, how does that help me? There's no dragons.
They're probably
here
still around somewhere. They're just not here.
They're in hiding.
Alright, I'm going to drop all of the magic items into a folder. That are there.
Folder of magic.
They
If
are
I
uploaded.
grab something with my tail and one of my hands, we can see if it splits myself apart.
Oh, that would be. Tim's like, if you pick one, don't forget to put it in your inventory after Saturday's game.
Oh.
Don't ever, I will say this now. When you find scrolls, potions, magic items, somebody put it in their fucking inventory so you know you have it on your person. Because you can't be just like, oh yeah, 10 sessions ago we found blah 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 blah. Well, who has it? I don't know. Can we use it? No.
And as a DM myself, that is not my problem if you don't manage your stuff properly.
I know. And I am hyper management when it comes to that, obviously. But yeah, it is what it is. We know for next time.
I'm kind of the same way, but if you don't do it yourself, it's not my problem if you lose an item.
Oh, and also hanging on like a small branch that hooks up is a key. A key.
Has it been 10 minutes, or am I still seeing magic stuff?
I don't know if it's been 10 minutes. Actually, I would assume that the
Yeah.
memory would not take long, but of course you did read the letter and copy it down, so you might have like 10 seconds left as this door opens.
Okay, I just want to look at the key and see if the key is magical.
Yes, the key is magical.
Oh, I am loving. Wait, my camera freezes. I don't know why.
It's okay.
It's
We know the green
very
screen is still
sad, but I am loving. I'm loving the great owl shroud.
good. Yeah, there's a file
The only thing
folder.
I've read was the
Okay.
dagger.
Okay. What?
So far, the only thing I've read is the dagger.
The temple item.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get the great owl shroud. It looks very cool and very stylish.
As you grab it,
Yo,
you feel almost the same feeling of identification or like scanning your being as the spirit that EOA was holding when it identified each of you. So you have been fingerprinted for your item.
Did you make these for us, or are these from something?
Oh, these are Griffin's saddlebag.
I don't know what that is, but cool.
Yeah, Griffin's saddlebag creates magic items. Aw, thanks.
I
Thanks,
want the
Stella.
shroud. I want the great owl shroud.
Uh-oh, Sully just took it.
Uh-oh.
No,
Y'all are gonna have to have a discussion.
no,
Oh.
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
But they have thousands of items, and I've been like a Patreon of theirs for a long time. I just went through all of their stuff, and I didn't want to technically make things that were specific for each person. I just thought that they would all be items that could be useful to your party. Or
I
any
feel like
party
that-
that came through here.
That owl shroud one is like good for everyone.
It is good for everyone.
For sure. Dude, that fucking frozen dagger is awesome. Ooh, a cold snap. I want the whip.
Okay.
I'm taking the fucking.
Can't hear what he's saying.
So I'm taking the whip.
You're
Not really bad.
Oh, I don't.
He said he's taking the whip.
There.
Yeah, I heard
You know
it.
what it is? Is his release time is like I turned up my release time really long, but it didn't clip my word.
There we go.
I like how you
Much
said
better.
that as it just cut you off.
Oh, did
That'll be
it?
better.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Well, I don't even have push to talk on, so mine's just
Okay,
clipping my sound.
It's probably because you turned your head.
I did, yeah, because I have to have the limiter up so high because, you know, him's fucking loud.
You're not loud enough.
So, same thing with you. As you grab the whip off of the shelving that it is put on, you get a feeling that you have been identified and logged as having been here.
Is it in
I'm sure it is in D&D Beyond because most things from Griffin Saddlebags are, but I need to add it to our campaign, and that I haven't done. So,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
great owl.
I couldn't find it. Oh.
Yeah, you have to make homebrew items in
Oh.
D&D Beyond.
Most of them have been made, so I just want to make sure that these have. I probably should have checked that, but I got distracted with life. Yes.
It's all good.
The diviner's dice are cool too.
All right. If any of them don't work correctly, let me know. Refresh your page and let me know if you can see the Great Owl Shroud. If not,
Okay.
make sure that homebrew items are. Hey, Adair. Homebrew items are checked on your character creation.
Up and down.
Intro.
Yeah, all these are pretty cool items.
I thought. I spent a lot of time going.
They're all really cool.
Yeah.
I like the tea weird.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
There's an endless desire to create tea. The doodle ring's cool too. A lot of them really. Let's see.
Stella, it's like your first day back in months and you're just throwing gift subs.
Whoa.
I know.
Yay!
Hey, very cool.
Thanks, Stella.
I'm gonna throw the gifts, the sub angel at you. I was thinking about streaming, like on our regular Monday and Friday. I was like, you know who I haven't seen in a while is Stella.
Yeah.
Stella was freaking.
Mm-hmm.
And putting up polls.
That's true too.
Alright, let me know if you see.
So with the astral caltrops, is that a thing of once they're all spent, they're gone?
It looks like a one-use item.
Says you can pick them up.
Well,
Yeah, you
yeah,
can
but
pick
it also says
Yeah, but one
once they
ability
go
says
off, they
be
destroy
consumed.
themselves.
Mm.
I might do the dagger.
Yeah, dagger's awesome. Yeah, we don't have any rogues, huh?
No. But it would still be nice for an offhand for EOA.
Yeah. My bonus action.
Thank you so much, Stella. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Nearly invisible floated to yeah, my only problem with making that more than a one-use item is like a lot of fucking damage.
Yeah. I just wanted more clarity of what
Yeah.
was, because it's, yeah, like if it explodes, then it's done.
Yeah.
But if they go around it, then I guess you could pick them up.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Be great, like in a dungeon, just to like keep the where you're coming from, drop them from where you're coming from, and if nothing triggers them, nothing triggers them. You can go back and get them, but at least you would know. You would hear screaming and a pop if something was following you. Now I need a T-weird in like real life.
I'm tempted to take that one.
I just need it.
Especially since I grabbed all the herbs for fucking myself up last time.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have a little
You could
buddy
just-
to make me drug shit forever.
That would be awesome.
Oh, what if you could use it to like help you make potions?
Okay, no.
That's tea
Drugs, yes. You can make drugs, but I will say no to potions.
I said help you make them.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense, yeah. Oh yeah, to like infuse the water with some of the elements that or some of the plants that you need. Yeah, the scroll of mapping I thought was super freaking cool.
So far, the only one that looks useful to me would be the dagger or the owl shroud, but that was already taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the owl shroud. It's very stylish. Very cool looking.
If not, I can just make it myself.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure it's one of these 20.
Is there like a griffin saddlebag?
Well,
Filter
a
you
lot of
can
people
do?
create them. I wish.
Alright, I think I'm gonna go with the tea guy.
Awesome.
It's actually giving me an idea to research something when we go to the library.
Whoa.
Okay, so I did find the frozen dagger.
Can you send the link to me?
You should be able to search for it when you go to add an item.
No, man, I just add it to my personal collection too.
Oh, yeah. Alright, secret has been added. That was easier to find.
How do you add it to your items?
So if you go to your character sheet, go to inventory, click on add items, and then type in the search the name of the item. It's T-weird with two, like it's a space, not the name of the file.
So like where it says like filter, where then you just
Manage inventory. I'm sorry. Yeah, so click on manage inventory, not add.
If I search T, all that comes up is Midnight Tears and Eyes of the Eagle.
Or that homebrew.
Yeah, see it. You have to turn on Homebrew. Probably turn on all the settings.
All right, you should be able to see it now. Refresh it. Make sure to refresh it.
Nope, still not.
All right, he's there. How are you doing over there, Dorus?
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, good.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like trying to thematically think what my character would pick. I'm not like he's not a materialistic person really.
Yeah, there is the key.
The key of awesomeness.
I just assumed the key was our way out of here, kind of.
Oh. Sure.
Because
Well,
like everything's on this one like table, right, or whatever.
There's just different shelves. Kind
Oh,
of like
okay.
grown out of
And
the
where's
trees.
the key?
It's on a hook.
Is it on the on the shelving or like off to the side
Yeah,
or
it's
something?
within the same type of display.
Oh, okay. Then I
style
take
stuff.
the key.
Okay. Once again, for
I
everybody
thought it
who
was
grabs,
like an obvious like off to the side thing.
I mean, it's just it stood out because it's a key, whereas everything else is like an item that you can use with little placards that tell you what it does. This is just a key. It doesn't tell you shit.
But it's a very magical key.
It is a very magical key.
All right, I take the key. Just because of the unknown.
Everybody who grabs a magical item, you are scanned, identified, marked as having taken an item in a way. I gotta find that freaking frozen dagger again. So, as you all have chosen an item, and you, and at last Dorus picks up the key. That strange floral golden light of the sunset, and that same feeling of just peace and welcome and being at home just infuses everything around you. And this did trigger last time the portal down. Unless anybody does anything that could stop this, you'll be transported back to the platform. So this time, it is a feeling of not flying, but falling upwards.
Oh,
Oh boy.
Flash of black, and as you feel, you just are suddenly standing once again on the runic platform. The weave is still visible to you, and as you reappear, the three in Mita, you hear them all gasp and ask, "Where have you been?"
I don't know. We went to some crazy room where we got magic item. And then Doris grabbed a key and we teleported.
Eoway,
Do I still have the key or has it disappeared?
the key you still have. Eoway, the
Hold
stone
it up by the end of the thing.
is no longer in your hand.
How long have we been gone? It felt like 10 minutes, 30 minutes.
Well, you disappeared. It wasn't very long, but that doesn't really matter, does it? You were still gone. You disappeared.
I think we visited the inside of temple.
They don't seem to have, they're just walking through this great pillar of runes. They anchor as if it doesn't exist. They don't seem to be able to see anything that you guys see.
Do you not
How-
Oh,
see
the ship's still glowing?
Yeah, the stuff still, you are still able to see it.
Is it like still causing like a dome around the entire place?
You get the feeling from the vision that you saw that the dome is always there. You can't see it. It's hidden. It's there, but it's always hidden. It always is, always was in a different way from the first one, since the first one's created it. And it is now, you all are able to see it from the letter, maybe because you were influenced by C.R. Saenti? Maybe? You have the ability to see?
Yeah, so who was the little person that sent us on our journey now? That's what I want to know.
Aw, the little firebug? What, lightning bug? What did Jax call him?
Little firefly.
Little firefly. Good question. I think he actually explained it.
Yeah, but like when you get more context, it kind of changes.
Yes.
Zane.
Zane.
Yeah, Zane. Yeah.
A little buddy.
Does the top of this area with like the missing areas that would look like portals were in, is this very familiar to the room that Zane had teleported us to that had multiple portals and crap?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Jax, you would know that like all of the different buildings just kind of were different representations of the different types of lands that are on Avonvon. And being that the anchor, it was a place for the seat of Avonvon. And each way, like you have the way of the Vareki, which was like what EOA was studying. Each way of the binds had multiple different kind of sects. So you would imagine that the way of the land would have had multiple different keepers. So it could have been that each one of these areas housed the different keepers for the different parts of Avonvon, the different types of landscapes.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because we don't know when or where Zane had taken us to. So I just didn't know if it was like somewhere far in the distant future or whatnot, but...
that kind of felt like an in-between place. A place out of time.
Okay. Well, that's why I was just curious.
Yeah.
But Jax is going to...
Hey guys.
Yes.
I want you to meet somebody.
He's gonna bring up this little teacup.
This is Puds. He makes tea.
Puds!
Wait, the tea maker.
Yeah.
I
Puds
never really
makes
took
tea.
you for a tea guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it does kind of like set you. I mean, I'm learning with all these connections with the earth, with the land and everything, that to get closer with it, you must become part of it, or I don't know. I'm trying to sound smart. Anyways, I'm trying something new.
That's good, tea. I love tea. Well, it can. There's just like one. Very interesting. What kind of tea it will make?
Yeah. Apparently, if I give it anything that it can make tea with, it will. Like, it makes them happy. Puds just is here to make tea.
That's perfect. I can always go for a cup of tea.
I'm renaming it in your inventory.
Is there any leaves around that I can test this out?
I mean, you can try.
Okay.
My only thing would be that most of the plants here seem to be a little bit more sentient than in everywhere else.
Well, I wouldn't try taking it off one of the sentient ones. I'm looking more maybe there's some that have fallen off and are just basic now and not
Oh yeah.
sentient?
Can I look through my herbalist book and see if I have anything?
Yeah. Go for it. What would you well, you have picked some of the flowers. So
Did any of them seem tea worthy?
you haven't tasted them. I don't even know if you smelled them.
You know, just shove them towards Daru's.
What, to like eat them?
Smell them.
No, smell them.
Oh, yeah, I smell them, sure. They smell familiar.
Dude, these smell like tea. If they could be turned into tea.
I mean, one of them has a very dandelion smell, which might be good for tea.
I also have, I open my little notebook and I pull out one of the dried tulsi flowers from earlier. I left in there. I give him that, see if he can turn it into tea. The flower petals.
Poison everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like
So-
used for magical potions and shit, so it might actually do some cool stuff.
So what I'll do is I'll hold the multiple items you guys have given me in front of it, because it actually chooses itself. And it chooses stuff that it can make tea out of. So if it is poison, I don't believe he would do it unless I could persuade him to do it, essentially. Because he's just...
That's really cool.
Like literally when you read, so it says, when given a leaf or other potential tea ingredient, its watery form gurgles happily as it begins to steep it, magically heating the water surrounding the ingredient to its ideal brewing temperature. And it only picks up materials it chooses to and can control whether or not it's wet to the touch. So, yeah, I'm assuming that it's gonna know if something's good to make tea out of or not.
As you have chosen this creature, and it is sentient, so it will have chosen you as well. It will know that you are injured, and it will take one of the flowers that Eoway offers. Eoway, it would be the first one. He got his first one. He got his first pet. Eoway, this is the one that has already regrown, as you had it in your backpack or your pouches or whatever that would be. So it kind of reaches out in little, like, what you were saying you wanted to play a slime so you could be, what was it? Flubber.
A gummy bear.
Flubber. So in like a little flubber way, you know, like a little pseudopod kind of reaches out and swirls around, and you see it take some of the petals off of this the flowers from this plant, and then it will take part of the flower dorus that you offered and a couple of leaves that you don't know if it has any medicinal value at all, but it begins to like bubble and brew, and you would assume it's done because the little brewing stops.
Does
And
it
I
do
will
like
say-
a little ding when it's done?
I was gonna say it does a ding, but I don't know it would be a you know, like I don't know what it would be. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. You can do the sounds for it. If you drink this tea, it will it's not much, but it will restore 1 hit point per hour.
That's good.
Well, thank you, Puds. Let's give this a try. Not bad.
So the leaves it added seem to have kind of infused it with like a vanilla-y flavor to cover the really almost grass-like flavor of the flowers that Eoway had offered. The Tulsi plant, I don't know what kind of flavor that would have. I would just say it would be very earthy. So that the leaves it chose is just kind of trying to make it tasty. So it doesn't taste like dirt and grass.
Not bad.
Is there
Anybody
enough
else want to try it?
I'll give it a shot.
Me too.
Might as well.
It's tasty. It was surprisingly so. And you kind of feel it. It's like if you're really, really cold and you have something warm to drink. You know, that spreading of warmth kind of throughout your bodies. So I will say it has like 6 hours that it'll restore 1 hit point per hour. Feel a little rejuvenated. You know, good caffeine hit.
What time is it?
Probably early evening. Because y'all started out fairly early, and it takes a long time to get up. So maybe late evening, maybe 7? So it would be getting dark? I will say, Dorus, you don't know what your key does, I'm sorry.
He picked it up for the mystery.
Yep.
Did I get scanned like everybody else when I grabbed it too?
Yes, you did.
Is it literally a mysterious key?
It is a mysterious key. So you can add mysterious key to your inventory.
Is that an item I can look up?
It's an actual item.
Oh, it's not that.
Oh.
Yeah, I custom added a key, but
A mysterious key unlocks a random door in the world.
Yeah, it's similar to that, but it's not like a singular. It doesn't have a singular. So we can leave it here for the night. I know it's a lot of information, so it was a lore dump session. Even though we had no comment,
Awesome lore
everybody
dump.
enjoyed themselves.
Oh yeah. A lot of cool information
So I just
Very
need
cool.
to.
that I'll
I would be
definitely need to
afraid for
reread.
combat because of my rolls.
I know that. I'm sorry, guys. I told y'all for like 2 weeks. Y'all rolls really need to be on point. But I mean, you do it.
Indeed.
Make it happen.
If it was easy, it wouldn't be D&D.
This is true. This is. But you will have all the notes. Hopefully, won't be as confusing as listening to it, because I know that can be super. Oh wow. So some of this is literally just outline, guys. It literally says describe ruins. Central solid stone carved with symbols surrounded by line upon line of arcane symbols from numerous practices. So that's my trigger for insert picture here. But unless they have any questions, I will say, just as a reminder, because I know once again there's just a bit. Next week could be looking at the weave and seeing where it went wrong and how it would have created the afflicted. Because that's of course where it all started out.
Next time on D&D.
Next time on D&D, Avonvon with the unnamed group.
We need to choose a name.
Essentially. Not really.
We can just be those weirdos that fell out of the sky.
Yeah.
Bringers
what
of puds. We bring puds wherever we go.
Can you imagine how bored this looks? Getting around?
Mm-hmm. And now he makes
Thousands of
tea.
years.
Yep. Yep. And he is so happy to be making tea. It's stupid.
I just imagine he was like so bored he just used all the different plants in that little basement.
Yeah, or maybe like the plants themselves just grew extra flowers just for him. For Mr. Puds.
Oh, putty buddy.
There will also be some additional information that you will now intuit from the vision that you had, the memory, of the different ways. Whether or not you'll understand exactly what they do. That's a thing that you can try and figure out. But otherwise it will be revealed later on. Got him.
That was her monitor.
That was a fun.
Yeah, I was saying, that's kind of like a monitor.
Which makes me think that you've done that a couple of times.
No,
anyway.
I had a guess.
Yeah, that's okay. I didn't hit it hard. Nothing happened? That face is my good monitor too. It's not even the cheap shitty one. I'm ending stream. Stella, it was great to see you. Thank you so much. Adair, thank you for stopping in. Anybody else who's lurking, thanks for being here. We had a great time. I hope you did too, even though I know it's really hard to watch D&D. Thanks anyway for being here. Love you.
For sure.
Have a great
Bye.
day.
Thanks for coming.